everyone. Good morning or afternoon if you're in another place of the world. I'm in California, so right now it is towards the end of morning. Hello, I'm Diana. Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm Diana. If you don't know who I am, I'm a solo artist and I use the creative arts to talk about mental health. So this exercise that I'm going to share with you is with drawing. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a piece of paper and some coloring utensils. I choose crayons right now, but you can use markers, you can do a pen, you can really use whatever is going to work for you. And we're going to just take inventory of how we are in this current moment, and you want to draw your thoughts and feelings as if they are weather. So is it sunny in your inner world? Are there waves? I suppose waves aren't weather, but the wind on the waves would be weather. Is there a tornado? Whatever you want to draw is really anything goes in your weather report. So this exercise I learned at the Actors Fund, actually, in a class in depression and anxiety. And what it does is it gives us a way to visualize what we're thinking and feeling. It gives us some language, because oftentimes with big emotions, you don't really know, I don't really know what that exact feeling is. I think, oh, well, it's not possible to feel depressed and also happy, or how happy am I? Or, it's really hard to quantify. But if I draw a sun and some clouds, well, in weather, it's possible to have a sunny day but also have clouds, and it's possible for clouds to block out the sun temporarily and then come back. So I really liked this tool that I learned, and I wanted to share it with you because I think right now things are pretty unprecedented, and we need some tools to be able to label our feelings so that we can kind of make sense of them. I've been listening to a number of people in the mental health world that are saying that right now, as much as possible, to connect with your feelings and to be able to label them and process them and to find healthy ways to process them is really important, because we're all at home right now, right? And I know tensions are much higher than normal, more than likely for most people. And even if there aren't as many factors at play, it's an unprecedented time, and feelings and thoughts are going to pop up. And so let's give a creative outlet to them so that they have a place to go. Oftentimes too, with overwhelming feelings or feelings in general, if your mind can make sense of it and put it in a box, then we can relax. So sometimes I'll feel really restless and I don't really know what that feeling is or why I'm feeling it, and it's really weird, but it's in my body and there's energy. Well, if I can draw it, as a big tumbleweed or as a big tornado, I can say, oh yeah, I guess I am feeling that. And then because my mind can categorize it, oftentimes my thoughts just move on. That said, this is in no way, of course, making light of some, depression and anxiety can be really, really overwhelming. I've had a number of years with it. So this might not take it away at all. And there are a lot of things we can do to manage those things, but they can be beasts, and I just also want to put voice to that too, because it's not a quick fix. However, I have learned in my many years of learning about therapy and trauma and my own process of self-healing, I have learned that the more tools we have, the less pressure some of these experiences it can just lessen the pressure on some of these experiences. So that said, let's draw. If you tune in, this is a cat that I show you every single day. So that brings me a lot of joy. And in some ways, I am the cloud blocking the sun. Just another analogy. Okay, so you want to take a piece of paper and some coloring utensils. And there are a couple ways to check in with ourselves. If you are a person that feels comfortable doing body scans. Some people don't like to to go to the body, and that's fine. If you want to do a body scan, you can. Just do from the top of the head all the way down. And just noticing if you're feeling tension or energy. For people where the bodies aren't necessarily safe to you, you can also just do it at the tips, like tips of fingertips, or just at the eyelashes or the tips of your ears, or anything that isn't necessarily going inside. You can also just do it cerebrally and say, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? And we want to translate it into weather. So yeah, is it cloudy? Is it sunny? If you want to add things that are not weather, go right ahead. So, okay, in this moment, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? Let's draw. Well, if you want to take a couple more minutes, feel free. This is your time to draw. So if you take as long as you need. You might just do it very quickly, or you might do it throughout the day. And sometimes I'll finish my picture and then I'll say, I don't know if that feels complete. So I might add a couple things afterwards. Yesterday I drew, I don't have it with me. I guess I should have had it with me, sorry. But like yesterday, I had a big white space, and sometimes with white space, I will, sometimes for me, those are blank spaces of hope that can be filled, and sometimes there's something that I wanted to fill, but I didn't know quite what to put in. So yesterday after I drew, I had a blank space and I was like, something needs to go in this. And I ended up drawing a yellow sun. It was hollow and it was soft, but it was there. So I believe that's probably still on my story if you want to see, or you can see it in my feed. So yes, the other thing I'll say about drawing is oftentimes I don't know what I'm thinking and I don't have the words to articulate it. I just have a sound, or I have a feeling in my body, or sometimes I don't even know. So I'll just put a crayon, or I'll put a marker to the page and just see what comes out. And it doesn't have to be weather. It can be whatever you want it to be. This is something that you can do with friends and family to see if you're on the same page, literally. Maybe you guys might have different weather, and that might be a reason why there might be tension in the house. If one person is coping in one way and the other person is coping with this in another way, it might be that you're bumping up against each other, and it just needs a conversation, not necessarily of like, you're doing this, but of, hey, I'm feeling really like lightning right now, and the other person's like, I'm feeling like sun. Well, those are quite different, and maybe if you can put them together and understand what's happening in each of your weather, it might have the opportunity to create some mutual support. You can also do this with children. I know the children are, I'm sure they're having some effects from having their routines disrupted as well. Sometimes there's positive effects, but there also might be some effects that maybe if they're drawing it, you as a parent would be able to offer some solutions to as well. And also I would say that we all have different experiences in this, and some are compounded, of course, by different layers of what's happening. Regardless of where you are and what you're thinking and feeling, you're valid, and you deserve your experience too. So oftentimes it can be quite easy to say, oh, I shouldn't be feeling this way. I don't have I don't have all these other things, but that doesn't take away what you're actually going through. So honor that, right? Okay, this is what I drew today. That's another fun thing. You got to see what I'm thinking and feeling all the time. So that's a cat for you. This is what I'm going through. I am in that place where I don't have a lot of the compound factors that, I'm sure are creating a lot more layers to this. I'm talking to friends who have businesses that are closed. I'm talking to friends that have parents that are sick, or are parents and they're sick. And so there are a lot of things here. For me, mental health is at the forefront of my mind with this, because that's the thing that I really invest my time in. So even though I don't have those compact factors, that doesn't take away the fact that I am feeling very aggressive right now, as you can see by this jagged line. Is that weather? No. But does it put a shape to my aggressive feelings? It does, and I feel satisfied with this. And so as I was feeling more of like, like I'm frustrated. I guess that's this frustration. And when I did that, then I was like, oh, that's kind of fun to draw that. And I drew it in silver. And so then my experience changed as I was drawing. It got to be kind of fun to do this. And I wanted to draw a sun, but the sun today in my weather world is not bright and cheery. It was red. It was with a red crayon, because it was also an aggressive sun. And as I was drawing the aggressive red sun, it wasn't a full aggressive sun. I kind of was laughing at myself, being like, is it really that big a deal? But that doesn't take away that it's there. And so it's not full. As you can see, it's half. And then I put, this is like kind of an area where you can see where you can also draw solutions inside your weather. So the sun was red, but then I started to draw yellow around it to kind of counteract that. And so this is my, frustration, my red sun, but this is the joy that I surrounded it in. And that doesn't take away that there is frustration with this, you know, the state of what's happening. But with the yellow, then I also can surround it in some of the joy, some of the, you know, is it really, look at all the good things you have, basically. And I also drew more aggression, more frustration. But if you see, I drew that towards these are little green viruses. I've drawn them in the past over the past few weeks. I've been doing this every day at 11 for almost a month. So these little guys have popped up on and off, but now my aggression is going towards the virus because that's what's driving this whole situation. Not necessarily people in my life, not necessarily my loved ones. So the virus is the target of the frustration. And had I not drawn this, I might have realized that I might have thought differently. I might have been frustrated with my parents, or I might have been frustrated with people in my life, as opposed to the real person, the real thing to be frustrated with is those guys. So then at the bottom of the, and this is coming down as F lightning. And then at the bottom, I drew a little river of healing because that is my hope. That is my hope, is a river of healing. You can't see it, but there's little blue rays of light from the sun that also for me symbolizes healing. And then in the bottom, I wrote the word blah. I felt it was necessary, and I put blah. So you can also put words in there if you want. I put that in a box as well because, I don't know, it felt like I wanted to contain it. And then I put it in silver as well because I think that that feeling is also linked to this feeling too. So another thing I do is after I do this, I'll write a quick description of it so that I'll know throughout the course of this stay-at-home order, like, what were we thinking and feeling each day? And then you'll have a visual representation of it as well. So please join me. I do this every day at 11 a.m.-ish, and I'm always happy to have you along this journey. Take care of your mental health. It's really important. So if you do feel a burst of feelings, whether it's sadness or joy or aggression and frustration, just pick up a coloring utensil and give it some shape. Give it some shape. And yeah, please join me. I will see you again tomorrow, and thank you so much. There's that cat, if you wanted to see it again. Okay, bye. Oh, and